Well, hello there, stamping friends. This is Tracy Rather from Plum Crazy Stamping, and it's time for our paper pumpkin workshop, which I do monthly. We're going to be doing the January 2024 kit called the Lovely Lavender. It is gorgeous. As you're joining me tonight, please sign in. Let me know where you're watching from. Also, please use the comments to ask any questions or provide any feedback on the projects that I'm doing tonight. I'm going to go ahead and actually do the 3 projects that are included in the kit. And then I'm also going to do 2 alternative cards and show you how I can get more out of the supplies that are provided in the kit. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down. And let's take a look at the desktop here. And I'll remind you that if you're watching this on the replay, please also sign in and use the comments because I will watch for those even after the broadcast. All right, I'm going to catch up my computer as well here. So I can see your comments as well. So let's do that. All right. So here is the instructions for the Lovely Lavender kit. And I'm going to show you a couple of other things that are, just trying to straighten this out a little bit, that are in the kit. As I said, there's 3 projects that are actually a part of this kit. And so we're going to look at those. So when I get the kit, if you're not familiar with Paper Pumpkin, this is something you can order on a monthly basis, or you can get subscriptions for 3, 6, and 12 months. And then you get this gift in the mail every month. So it comes with tissue paper all wrapped up, and it's very festive, but I have already been digging in here. So beautiful envelopes. Most of the time they are always lined. They're of fine quality. And sometimes I use them as envelopes. Sometimes I use them to create more designer series paper for my designs. Then there are actual card bases. And these are the 2 that are included in this kit. And then there was also a die cut for some beautiful bookmarks. And we're going to be making that as one of the projects today. Then there are a number of die cuts, including things to stamp sentiments on, florals, leaves, little, here's another little sentiment tab. Anyway, already cut out. We always get at least 1 Stampin' Spot. This month's was Gorgeous Grape. And then a number of, basically a stamp set. I've already taken the little width off of here because I'm going to be using that on my cards. But we get that. And when you get your first Paper Pumpkin, you actually get an acrylic block to be used with the photopolymer stamps that are always included in the Paper Pumpkin kits. Oops, let me set these other things back in here so I don't lose them. And many times there are embellishments, and there's baker's twine that was in this one as well. Okay, so let's just set this aside. I've already got all the project pieces and parts put together. So when you first open the instruction sheet, it actually says projects 1, 2, and 3, and what supplies out of the box you'll need to make each of these projects. And then there is a set of detailed instructions for each of the 3 products. There's also a ruler provided right here on the side of the instruction sheet, so you don't even have to go chasing around with that. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, there are also whatever type of adhesive you need. Many times it is dimensionals or tear and tape, let's see if I have any of the little dots in here. Little adhesive dots that are also used to put the project together. So you have everything that you need. On the back, they always give you a diagram and show you all of the parts and pieces so you can just make sure you have everything you need in the kit. I have never found anything to be missing, but I've heard from other demonstrators if there's ever been anything missing, they just call Stampin' Up! And get replacements, and it's not a problem. There's also a QR code here where you can go to Paper Pumpkin How To, and you can actually see a demonstration of this kit being put together if you haven't ever done one before, you're not quite sure based on the instructions how to do that. They also provide pictures of alternatives that you can make with the supplies provided. So with that, this is, as I said, January 2024. We're going to look at Project 1. So let's get this out. I've already got all of the things that I need here. I am going to actually, let me see, where is my gorgeous grape? Regular stamp set. Well, I'm going to use, I guess, the one that is in this box because I moved my gorgeous grape somewhere else. Does that surprise you that my purple stamp pad would be somewhere where I'm using it? Oh, wait, here it is. Okay, so we've got that. We'll just take care of using that. I save my spots when I go on crops. I think I've told you that before. Okay, so there was we die cut out this bookmark. And then there's also a floral that was die cut. This envelope was just to keep it all together here. I'll get that out of my way. There is some baker's twine, so I needed 12 inches of that. I already cut that off. And then there is a sentiment tag that was already cut off as well. It tells me that I'm going to need to stamp something here. So I'm going to go ahead, grab that sentiment from my stamp set here and get one of my acrylic blocks. So this one says, just a little something for you. All right. And when you condition a stamp, if you haven't used it before, especially photopolymer, well, I guess any of them, if you rub it on your Simply Chamois, dry it off, that helps. And then you can also take a piece of scrap paper and stamp on that the first time just to make sure that all the ink is going on your stamp and leaving a nice clear image, which it is. So now I'm ready to stamp this on the label. Okay, we've got our sentiment. All right, now I am ready to put this together. I'm just going to get the ink out of my way here. So I'm going to take the bookmark, and then I already have put some little of the adhesive dots on the back of this die cut already. I'm going to take your pick tool, hopefully. I'm trying to see where it is. Here it is. And just take these pieces of adhesive covering off of this. So this really helps. This tool, I don't know how I did this because lately my fingernails have been much shorter, to get the adhesive covers off here. All right, and then I'm just going to attach this onto the bookmark here. Okay. There we go. And then I need to put some dimensionals on the back of the sentiment here. I'm going to use the full-size ones and just put 2 of them on here. Okay, and kind of center this a little bit towards the bottom. And then I'm going to take my baker's twine and go ahead and put that through the little die cut hole that was already in the bookmark. And then, so I put it in double, and then I open the loop on the back side here and put the strings through, and you have that nice baker's twine. Isn't this a beautiful bookmark? And so with these matching cards, you could put this inside as a gift, or with the Lovely Lavender set, or anything in Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather would be beautiful. Even Fresh Freesia, to make a card to put this bookmark in. So there is our first project. Just set it there for right now. And we'll go on to the second one. And I have all the parts and pieces for that one. We're going to need to get a different sentiment for this card. Happy Valentine's Day. Let me just find one of my acrylic blocks for that one. Okay, we've got that on here, and I have not used this yet, so I'm just rubbing it across my chamois again, getting it ready. Okay, and then we have a number of pieces for this one. So this envelope, really pretty polka dots here, it's going to go with this set. And then we've got our beautiful card base, which is the same on both sides. I'm just going to crease card base. And then the piece of die cut that's left over from where we had taken out the bookmark is actually going to be the card front for this one. So we're going to be putting that right on here. And I've gotten my dimensionals on the back of here. So I'm just going to kind of lay this together so you can see how this one goes. We're going to use some baker's twine in this as well. We have a series of lavender actually right on here already. And this has some just little adhesive dots that are going to help hold this onto the front and fit right in here. And then we have some foliage that was also die cut already, and that is going to go underneath both of these. I'm just going to set it to the side for a minute. And then we have the sentiment label that we're going to stamp on. So I'll tell you what, before we put this all together, let's go ahead, get our ink, and go ahead and stamp the sentiment here for this card. So let's make sure it's stamping well. There we go. Now these are photopolymer, but when it's just a sentiment, I find it's not as necessary to use the Pierce mat. If it is a solid image, absolutely use the Pierce mat. But I can get a good stamped image without the Pierce mat for a sentiment. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this card put together. So let's go in a row here. They want us to have all of the dimensionals on the back. We do that. And then we're going to have the lavender come out from behind here. It's going to be the front one. So I'm going to just take the covering off these adhesive dots that I have on this little part that's going to help just hold it from the bottom. So I am going to line this up so that the flowers start going right on the side here. And then I'll be able to push these other ones through as well. Okay, so we've got the first ones. Now to be behind that, I have additional, oops, let's do these first, on the front of this to hold it to the lavender. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that through so that it is in the front, and I'm going to just line that up to the side here a little bit. Trying to keep these all in here there. Okay. And then I've got part of 2 little adhesive dots down here. And I'm going to take off all of the, here's how you can use take your pick tool to take those adhesive coverings off. It's kind of a quick little trick. Did you get that one? Okay. And now we're going to be able to center this on the front of our card. So now this one actually is not a card front that's indented. It is the front of the card, okay? So make sure you match all the edges up. Isn't that pretty with those sticking out like that? All right. Then we're going to go ahead and behind our sentiment, we're going to put the baker's twine this time. And we're going to put just one of these dots behind it to hold the baker's twine in place. So I'm going to do that part first. So I'm actually going to, if you can see here, they kind of make a loop one way and then make it come back the other way. One loop, one loop. And then the ends of the twine, or baker's twine, are going to come out on either side. So kind of the figure 8 with this in the middle, and then I'm going to grab it in the middle to actually secure it to this dot. To kind of hold it in here, okay? So we've got that. Now we need to put 2 dimensionals on here so that we can actually hold the sentiment in place. So you can do this even if you don't have a kit, right? This is another way to do a sentiment with a little additional embellishment of baker's twine. And now I'm going to put it kind of towards the bottom here. Okay, and then we've got the baker's twine kind of just hanging out here. All right, there is the second card. Make sure you can see that. So if you don't like this behind the sentiment, you could always make a bow and put it underneath. You could put a bow up here, something a little different, but just shows you another design alternative for you. Maybe there you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so that's our second card. let's go ahead and do the third card. So this one has this envelope as a matching set to it. And let's pull the third one here. We'll flip this over where we get the instructions for how to do this. So now we're going to need another acrylic black. Okay, for another stamp. Oops. Part of this set. Here we go. Gonna condition it quick. All right, I've got it washed off. And we also need the little word with. I have that. That one is conditioned. Let's look at the pieces that are inside this one. Those all fall out here. So we've got our card front and back this time. They're both different, which is really pretty. I'm going to show you in particular this card base, how I used it differently to get 2 cards out of 1. All right, so we've got our card front. Then we have our big label for the lavender spray here, and we've got the little width. Now this one I am going to use the Pierce mat because it's a larger image, and I want to make sure I get a good coverage with this. Let's bring our gorgeous grape back in here. And we'll stamp it off once there. Okay, we're going to stamp it off again now on the die cut label here that was provided. Okay, so we have that. And let's see, we have to do our little word with, but I don't need the Pierce mat for that. Okay, just going to center it on there. Okay, we've got that. All right, let's go ahead and put this together. So we're going to have some baker's twine again. We'll have some pieces of separate lavender this time. A different die cut foliage. The word love. And then a piece that matches the envelope, actually. All right, so let's go ahead, and now that we've got this stamped, we can put our dimensionals on the back of this label. Okay, we'll go ahead and pull these all off. All right, and we're going to go ahead and actually center this. Just make sure. Now this card is going to be landscaped. Okay, and I want to just peek here. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sue. Hi, Donna. And there are a number of your comments, you guys, that I cannot see right now because they already went down and disappeared. I apologize for not seeing them. All right, now we're going to go ahead and with these pieces of lavender, I did put some mini glue dots on here already, so I'm just going to take those off so I can actually just secure them to the front of the card here. And you didn't need to put it all the way on the piece of lavender, just having 2 of them will work. We've got the foliage as well, so I'm just going to pop those off here. So we can kind of build this up. I thought this kit is such a wonderful example of the suite that is in the mini catalog, The Lovely Lavender. I can't wait to get some time to play with that. I thought I would get some time while I was working on this kit, but I didn't have the time. So I look forward to that because it's going to be a lot more of this great stuff. All right, so let's get our foliage on here off to the side a little bit. It can go off the edge. Okay, and then the sprigs of lavender. Let's see, are they the same size? One's a little bit longer. We'll use that over here. And then put this one next to it. Okay. And then we have our sentiment label here. And we're going to put two things on this. We're going to use the word with. And we're going to use the love. And so the with, I am going to pop up with a dimensional. So it's got a little different height. And I'm going to use a mini dimensional on this one. It'll be a little easier. And then the word love, which was a die cut, works really well with these little adhesive dots, right? Okay. And then I need to put some dimensionals behind our label that is going to hold the sentiment on the whole card. So I am going to go across with the 3. I think, you know, some detail, especially if you haven't used some of these adhesives, they actually show with the dark little dots what should be these adhesive glue dots. And then they show white circles where they suggest you use the dimensionals. So that kind of helps you to know what kind of adhesive they're thinking will work best for the design. All right, so let's do this. I guess I'm going to put this all together before I take the dimensional adhesive cover off. So I'm going to get my love mounted on here. And I'm going to take the cover off my mini dimensional here to put with love. There we go. Then I'm going to take these covers off. Hi, Elba. Let's get this now right across here. And I am going to cover up the bottom of the stems. So I'm going to take it down to that point. There we go. And now this one, we're just going to make a little bow. So however you tie a bow. And you can make it nice and big loops, smaller loops. That is all up to you. And they're showing that this is on the side. Now they put it underneath. I actually want it to show. Let's see if I wanted to go up here. You know, I'm going to put it at the base of these flowers, like it's kind of holding the flowers together. And to let it come up over the sentiment label. I'm trying to get all these little dots out of the way or they'll end up everywhere. So now I'm going to take one of these adhesive dots and I'm actually going to take the top adhesive off and I'm going to make a little ball on the end of my take your pick tool here. Okay. And I'm going to put it right where I want the knot to go. And then I'm going to push the knot of that bow right on top of that mini glue dot. And that will hold this right in place where I want it. So there is the third card. So I kind of like the bow look and having it be right in the mix with, I all of the pretty die cuts. All right, so that's the third of this set. So now I'm going to go ahead and make some alternatives for you. All right, so literally there are 4 of each of those cards and 4 bookmarks in the actual set. So here is the one with the other envelope. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, so these are the actual kit ones. Now let's go ahead and make the alternatives. I'm going to move this out of the way, this out of the way. Okay, so something I also want to show you that's brand new to Paper Pumpkins this year. So they're starting to give us a sneak peek of what's going to happen for 3 months. And with the 3-month kits, there are going to be some things that are similar, so that there will be a set of dies available to be used with 3 months worth of Paper Pumpkins. So this is called the Love of Spring dies. And so for the January, February, and March kits, there will be things that will match things with these dies to add embellishments to your kit. So you're going to see me actually use the tag kit, and I've already cut them out with my die machine, but I want to point out these dies will fit in the mini and the regular cut and emboss machine. And I'm also going to use the word love. So that's what I decided for this month, okay? So that is to the side. And by the way, so this set of dies was $12.50, which I thought was a great deal for all of the different images that we get. Okay, so let's go to having one of these card bases. And as I said, many times, if there is a 2-sided card like this, this is what I will cut apart to make 2 cards out of 1 card base. I'm also going to move these just to the side for a little while we do this, okay? So I'm going to get out my card trimmer and I'm going to cut this right in half. So I'm just going to follow at the 4 1/4 and cut this right in 2. So we've got the 2 different card fronts. Then I just need to grab up here and get 2 pieces of basic white thick cardstock. Okay, set that back up there. I always have those right here at my station so that I can just decide to use this whenever I want. And I need to go ahead and actually just score these card bases. So we're gonna score card base number 1 here. And I need to do the second one. Now I could choose any matching cardstock as well, but I just decided to go with the basic white. And if you don't have a lot of cardstock colors, having basic white, very vanilla, and some black are great neutrals to use with any kind of cards that you want to be making. All right, so we've got our 2 cards. Now we're going to put them together and we're going to make 1 card here and the other. And I'm sorry, you know what? I do want to cut these so that they are a card front and you can see the border. I'm going to be using white as my sentiment label, so I want the white to pick up on that. So I'm going to cut this to 5 1/4 by 4. So I have a little border of white on here. All right. There. Now you can see that. Let me do that to this other card front. I especially like to cut a card front versus having it take up the whole front when I put colored cardstock behind it too, because it just makes it stand out a little bit more. Okay, and this one is going to be a landscape card. So we're going to do a portrait and a landscape. All right, so let's first do our landscape card here. And so I'm deciding to use one of the colors in here is Berry Burst. So I just decided to put something to break up the front of this card a little bit. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue here. Let's get our card front glued on. Now, yeah, I'm doing this with the paper pumpkin, but this is a very simple card design that you can use with any designer series paper and matching cardstock. So kind of think about that. And maybe if you like this when this is posted, you'll just remind yourself 4 by 5 1/4 is the designer series paper. And then this piece of cardstock that I'm using, I believe I took 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4 to just make a little kind of separation, if you will. You could also put a piece of ribbon across here if you wanted to. So you can use cardstock or ribbon or another designer series piece of paper. So I could take, you know, a piece of that envelope inside if I were using that as DSP. Just breaks it up a little bit. And then I told you I was going to be using, this is the die cut label. And I'm going to use one of the, this actually was from the die as well. I used just a little piece of greenery here. And then the cut outward love fits right on here. And then I'm going to stamp, now where's our little width here? I need to wash that off because I'm going to use the Berry Burst to actually stamp right on this sentiment label. So I'm going to just hold this in place a minute. So I'm sure I have that where I want it. And then I'm going to stamp the width here. So now that could have been another piece of paper with that stamped on, or like I'm doing right now, I can put it right on here. I'm going to show you a little, let me make sure I have it right here. All right, I'll have to show you this other little tool I have another day. I don't have it right now. So I'm going to just be very careful in putting glue on the end of, or on the back side of the love here so that I can put it onto the front of this card. So very fine. And even if this isn't the thin glue, you can get one with the, you know, like a needle nose kind of thing. This does work. You just have to be careful not to squeeze too hard. And it will stay in place. Okay, so I've got it on a couple of spots there. Go ahead and flip it over. Now, oops, it's stuck to my finger. If there's any residual ink after, or glue after this dries, it dries clear, but if something is sticky and you want to take it off, you can use a gum eraser, and that removes adhesive, okay? So we've got that. I'll set this off to the side here. All right. So now I want to put my, I got to keep my little silicone mat here so I don't get adhesive stuck onto the table. And I'm going to use the dimensionals again to pop this up. So I'm just going to put this off to the side a little bit. And then I have the leaf embellishment here. And I'm just going to put a couple drops of glue on that because I am going to put this right to the flat part of the card. Kind of tuck it in there. All right, and there we have one of our 2 cards using just half of that card base. And this does have 2, I did use this embellishment die cut with garden green. So I forgot that I had that die cut too. All right, so now let's go ahead and make our portrait style card. And before I do any layering on this one, I want to put a ribbon to, you know how I used paper here? Well, I'm going to break this one apart this way, but I'm going to use ribbon. So this is Lost Lagoon. And isn't this gorgeous? Okay, so what I'm going to do is tape this down on the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to cut this here. I just need enough going off each end that I can put some Scotch tape on here. Okay, so I'm going to I don't want it in the center, but I want it a little bit off center, I guess is the way to say it. Let me grab my tape here. And I'm just going to fold this over. And I can't tell you how many times I forget when I want to do this to do it before I glue the card base or the card front down to the card base, right? So always think about what you're going to do the whole way through before you start gluing stuff down. All right, so you can see that that is in place. Now I can glue that down. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Now the other thing I'm going to do, just for some stability, as I'm trying to put this all together, I'm going to take one of the glue dots here, and I'm going to put it right in the center underneath, just to kind of help me hold this piece of ribbon where I want it. So I'm going to put that down there and then flip the little adhesive covering off and then press this in place. There. So now I've also helped to keep that where I want it. All right, and I'm going to just be very simple about this, and I'm going to use the same sentiment label with the width here. So let me get that washed off from the Berry Burst, and we'll use our Lost Lagoon. It still looks kind of red when I tap it on here. That's why I'm putting it over on this other page, making sure I'm not going to end up with a berry burst word on my sentiment. Okay, so I'm going to just hold this in place and stamp the width again. Okay. And we'll get a little glue on here. You could even put this love word on the inside of, you know, a letter that you're writing or inside the card. It'd be kind of cool way to sign it. Something unexpected. All right, we're going to put this on here. And then I'm going to go upside down here, and I'm going to put the dimensionals on. Okay, take those off. Just leave that sit here a second. Then I have, I'm just taking one of the die cuts from the, you know, the paper pumpkin kit. I really like this and I wanted this all to match. So now I'm going to put a couple of these dots, mini glue dots right here to hold this down on the front of the card. Okay, we've got that. Just take off those coverings. One more. Okay, so I'm going to put this very near the center here. There we go. All right, then I want to layer this. And now this one, you could do one of two things, or you could leave it like this. So this could be your choice of just being done with this. But let me show you what I'm going to do next. So you can take, I'm going to take some more ribbon here. I do want to make sure that I've cut it at an angle. Okay. And I'm going to feed it right underneath this other piece of ribbon. Now, you could tie it in a bow or tie it in a knot. I'm going to go for the bow, so a little bit extra here. And let's see if I don't have enough to do this. And the other tip here is if you tie it upside down, it's a lot easier to get the tails of your bow to lay right. So I'm going to take it upside down and I'm going to tie a knot. Okay. Now, one of the tricks of, I have this pretty stable on here right now, but if you need another set of hands before you tie a bow, you can always put a glue dot under here. Let's just try this though, because I put that other glue dot on there, it's not really moving around much. So let me see if I can get this to do what I would like it to do by tying the bow. Okay. And then if you need to adjust the loops just a little bit, you can certainly do that. I'm going to try this way now. I might have to do it again because I don't know if my... Yep, it's going to make it go. Do it upside down. It does a better job. Okay. I'm not really good at bunny ears. I should probably learn that technique. It seems like bunny ears works pretty good. All right, but let's say we've got this now. There. See how nicely that will lay when you do it upside down? So now I'm just going to trim this up a little bit. Okay, and if you wanted to glue, adhere something down, you sure can. But there is the one with the bow on it. So, being able to make two beautiful cards out of what would have just been the supplies for one card. And you would be able to use one of the envelopes and then decorate another envelope if you wanted to. And then we have the bookmark. So that is... Betty, my tape dispenser does match. Oh, you're funny. Oh, I'm glad you like this one, Kathy. Hi, Diane. Okay, you'll have to let me know if you like it when you watch the replay, Diane. Okay, let's see. Did I get to see everyone here? Hi, Mary Ellen and Roberta and Betty and Florence. So nice that you're all here. Like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a question for me. Just lastly, before I leave you tonight, let me go ahead and just share with you some really exciting information. I don't know if you have seen that in addition to the regular celebration offerings, they released just this week that there will be more freebies that you can take advantage of. So there are some full stamp sets from the regular catalog, and I'll be posting this now. If not going out in my newsletter, it will be posted very soon here on my website, or I'm sorry, on my Facebook page. Botanical Layers, a full stamp set. They have some of the paper from the catalog. Just Kiddin' and Delightfully Eclectic are also available as full paper sets. The Love This Memory Notebook Kit, which I am going to be sharing some details about in the crop on February 17th. Then a Robot Buddies card kit, 2 embossing folders, stripes and splatters. Wow, have I found a lot of opportunity to use those. Sweet Thoughts, Memories, and More, cards and envelopes. For a $100 purchase, you can get all of the new, what they call core colors, the Stampin' Write markers. That is on my list. And the Dragonfly Punch I already have, and I use it a lot. So what great additions to our opportunity to earn free products. And then for anybody that makes at least a $50 purchase of products, the free four-card tutorial that I'll be offering for the month of February is Earth and Elegance, That's Sweet. And once again, these examples are using this suite, but you could use these card designs on any suite of products or designer series paper that you have. So there are card measurements, supply information, and instructions to put the cards together. So with that, let me just flip this up and remind you, tomorrow night I'm doing the Masculine Cards class. Now I have to tell you, when asking people about what is their card making challenges, so many people told me masculine cards. So the class is focused on making 3 cards, but I'm also going to be talking about and showing people how to evaluate stamps for whether or not they could be a good masculine card tool. I'm also going to talk about other things to think about with colors and how that can help shift any stamp set to be more preferable for men and boys. I also am going to be teaching the masking technique in this class because, wow, can it make a difference on a card front when you know how to mask and use your stamps while doing that technique. Anyway, I'm also going to be sharing something with the Trusty Toolkit that you're just going to love and make it very 3D. So that's also something that helps when making masculine cards. So anyway, you can sign up right here on my Facebook page, and you could also off the weekly newsletter from last week. And you can always contact me at Tracy, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com to get registered or ask any questions. And just remember that, yes, the workshop is live tomorrow night at 7 Central Time, but it is recorded and the written tutorial is always available to you once you register. So it's a lifetime access to the class. And then I will be back Wednesday, my usual Facebook Live time, and I'm going to talk about storage of DSP and how you store it helps to make it very easy to make quick cards. So I can't wait to see you on Wednesday as well. Anyway, I'm Tracy Rather from Plum Crazy Stamping, and thank you for joining me, and have a great couple of days before I see you again. Take care. Bye-bye now.